Oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah. So wait a minute.我刚才笔记没有 OK。我把那个I think today is 15, right? So this is sorry, 14, right? 14. Okay, I think this ace class, right? Okay. Okay, so thank you very much for coming to today's class. And today is our ace Latin class. And as I explained earlier in our group, we're going to talk about subjunctive in Latin today. So for the grammar, we are going to talk about subjunctive, 虚拟语气 in Latin. And actually before subjunctive, I'm going to, 6, right? Okay, I forgot, yeah, sorry. Okay, I forgot. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so before subjunctive, I still want to talk about a present, because actually present and subjunctive are closely related. And also related with subjunctive is actually future, but I will see if we can talk about future this time. Yeah. Okay. And for the reading, we are going to read the inscription again, the so-called duenos, inscription. And probably also something from Horace, Horatius, his Carmina, odes, his odes 3, and number 4. And this is probably some interesting words we're going to talk about. Okay, so probably Horace, and I will try to accomplish them all. Yeah. Okay, so let's begin with present. So actually in Latin, we can just use grammar. It's not actually, well, actually everything is explained, or almost everything is explained in the book by Michael Weiss. But what I can do for this class is actually to select and highlight the most important things, and to highlight the logic, to highlight the structure of the grammar. And for the present, as you have seen, this is actually这个不够大吗？要我再调大一点吗？我可以再调大一点。Wait a minute. OK, yeah. 对，就是因为有些朋友好像是用手机或者是用那个移动设备看的，所以我尽量还是放大一点。Okay. So as you can see in the grammar, we actually have 4 classes. So I just type the example here. So actually, the first class, there's an example called amare, which means love, and you can find it here. And then the second one is something called, there's a example called docere, and docere means actually teach. Yeah. And the third one is called agere, right? But the third one has a variant. It's called cert, but your, right? So it's cert, but your, right? And here's an example called capere. And why it is a variant? Because in the first person singular, it's called capio. And the fourth one is this example called aud-ī-re. So actually you can find, wait a minute, 是有人进来了吗？还是有人比较吵？ 是这个是谁啊？我不是很确定。我需要把
苏迪吧？
是谁？
他那边有噪音。
OK， 我把苏迪可以了，我把它静音了。
好了，
可以了。我把苏迪静音了。
那
可以。他还开摄像头了，好吧。OK， 行，没事了。OK，I continue， 没事 ，It's OK，yeah， 没事，可以吗？没关系，应该不会再发生了吧？应该不会的，没事，我继续说吧，也不会耽误那个太多问题。因为我其实不是很确定，怎么让，没事，我继续说吧，好吧，没事。Okay, I'll continue. Yeah. So this is basically the 4 different classes, and you can see they all end in re. So this re is not is the how to say that? It's a marker for infinitive, right? So this is all infinitive, and I already explained last time. This infinitive goes back to C. Yeah. And C is actually locative singular of a S, locative singular of a S stem. So actually, Latin infinitive originally, at the very beginning, is a noun, is a substance. 就是拉丁语的不定式，就是本质上原来是一个名词的位置格单数。那这个位置格呢，还不是一般的位置格，它是一个 S 那个位置格，就是这个名词是一个 S 结尾的，那就很像那个英语，那就 sorry 不是英语，就很像那个梵语的 mon-e-ā-s 这样，然后或者是那个希腊语的 menos 大概这样，因为 S 结尾的话，它一般是一种抽象名词，对吧？就是一般是 abstract。So actually, the S stem is actually abstract nouns, right? So this is suitable for describing expressing kind of a verbal noun, right? 就是抽象名词嘛，所以可以用来表示动名词，所以就这样。那其实原始英语的不定式其实都是这样的，那个 PIE 的 infinitive，okay. So actually, the PIE infinitive all go back to substance or substantive or nouns, right? Or verbal nouns, yeah. Actually, verbal nouns, yeah. Yes. So infinitive, actually, historically, they are verbal nouns. So this is an important point you have to keep in mind. Yeah. So infinitive, PIE infinitive, go back to verbal nouns. Okay, so this re is not relevant. So important is actually here. So today we are going to explain why we have such different forms. So this is this is what we are going to explain today. Yeah, first part for the present, yeah. The historical explanation. Well, this is the root. 就是这个是词根，这个没关系。This is root. This is okay, so we can also neglect it. Important is this one. R-E-E-E. Yeah. Well, the explanation, actually, you can find it here. So I just highlight the important points for you. So we explain first this one. Wait a minute. Okay, so this one. So this is R. And as you can see, here's already the explanation. So this first class, R, goes back to laryngeal 2. Yeah. But this laryngeal 2, as you can, this R goes back to laryngeal 2, but laryngeal 2, if you remember, it's like in Sanskrit, the long R in Sanskrit are nouns, right? Like the feminine. In Sanskrit, feminine nouns can end in long R, and this is the origin of the Latin R. So second laryngeal change the A into a R. So this is quite regular. But as you can see, this is in origin a noun. 就是这个本质上是一个名词，对吧？所以你不可能用名词来构成动，你不可能直接把名词拿来当动词用，对吧？所以事实上呢，它是一种那个denominative. So this is actually in origin denominative. Denominative means that de is from, right? Nomina is nomina, 名词，对吧？ So then it actually with a ye. So in origin, this R first class goes back to denominative of a feminine noun, er. And these feminine nouns can sometimes mean abstract nouns, right? Like in Greek, we have fuge, right? So in Greek, there's a noun called fuge. It comes from feugo, to run away, right? Run away, or flight. Right. So you run away. Yeah. So this again goes back to long A. So this is actually go back to long A. Yeah. And you have to be clear that long A is written as eta in some dialects, but in some other dialects, it's written as alpha. Yeah. But in some dialects like Attic, you will find eta, but eta in Attic does not mean long A. 就是希腊语的这个 eta 这个元音这个字母，它可以表示长音的 a， 也可以表示长音的 r。然后呢，就是在比如说在阿基卡方言里面，但是在有些方言里面呢，这个长音的 r 是没声音了吗？可以听到吗？
这是正常。
OK， 可以吗？哦，好，可以，那我继续讲。好，就说这个Attic Greek eta can have two origins， 就是阿提卡方言里面 eta 可以有两种来源，一种是长音的 r， 一种是长音的 a， 对，但是在有一些方言里面它是泾渭分明的，就是区分的，比如说那个萨福的那个方言，那个 Aeolic，OK，or Doric 或者 Doric 方言 ，Doric。A consistently A, R is alpha. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is actually one of the most important origins of the first present in Latin. Okay, and then, yeah, you can see here's all the examples here. So this is basically the most important thing. Yeah. And from other categories is basically the same, because this a can be derived from actually a noun of adjective， 就是这个阴性抽象名词，它也可以从一个形容词变过来，比如说像 novus， 它可以先变成一个抽象的名词，然后再加上一个也，这都是可以的。所以说，广义上来讲，这个 denominative 事实上不只是名词， 它也可以是形容词，就是它是因为名词和形容词其实本质上是没有太大差别的，它们都是有那种格的变位啊，就是阴性、阳性、复数、单数等等之类的，就所以形容词和名词本质上是差不多的。OK， 所以OK， yeah。Okay, and there's another category called repetitive, and this goes back to the perfect passive participle, this to suffix. 好问题。名词派生嘛，可以这么翻译吧？名词可以翻译成名词派生，或者名词派生词。我不是很确定啊，那个大家可以想一想。对 ，OK。其实我这个有点废话了，那我还是不说了。就是我其实对这种翻译其实是比较开放的，就是你只要不犯错，其实是可以允许有2种甚至3种可能性的。就是比如说虚拟式或者虚拟语气，对吧？就是你不一定要说虚拟语气，你也可以说虚拟式，对吧？这2个其实，大家是可以相互理解的。OK。Okay. So this is actually another productive class. So actually, you have a base, and then you use the adjective. 哦，这样，就是国内是需要统一的，对吧？就是 OK， 好啊。Okay. So you can see, so this. 没有，我会写中文的那个语法，所以还是要在国内出版。但我会尽量强硬一点，就是我反正跟出版社谈的时候肯定会尽量强硬一点。因为国内怎么讲呢？就是英欧语的方面的东西其实几乎没有的，所以他根本不知道规范到底是什么。就他可能出中文书可以算是权威，对吧？但出这种，就我都不说西文书了，就是出印欧语这方面的书，他完全是个无知的状态啊，他根本就不知道西方的规范到底是什么。那比如说，我就举个最简单的例子，就是大家比如说标注一个词的翻译的时候，国内一般都是用双引号，对不对？就是比如说这样，国内写它的意思的话，都是用双引号的，对吧？我记得很清楚，就是以前看那个因为我自己投过稿嘛。其实西方的话一般是单引号，单引号表示意思，然后呢，双引号表示引用，这个是OK. So so someone asked me about the Chinese translation of this word, so I put it here. And then 弹幕无关紧要，弹幕无关紧要啊。Okay. Okay, so I just continue explaining. So I just continue talking about the grammar. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, there's also a very productive class here. It comes from the PPP, the participle, like tooth, right? So and then from this participle, it's a subject, it's a adjective, and then you can again build this are first present. Yeah. So it's just like this one, novare, like innovation in English. Innovation comes from novare, to review, yeah, to make something new. Yeah, this comes from the adjective. So I just explained the word denominative can be understood in a broader sense, that not only nouns but also adjectives. So you, since nouns and adjectives, they actually in origin the same. They're essentially the same thing. Okay, so this is basically the first class, and then the second class. Let's check it. So the second class, probably you have remember. Sorry. The second class, the symbol or the marker of the second class is a, right? So this a, we can just analyze it. So a there are actually two possibilities. The first is the a plus a laryngeal, again. So just like the first one, wait a minute. Yeah, just like the first one, R can come from laryngeal, right? Second laryngeal. So what is, now comes the question. So question one, which laryngeal should it be? If we have a long A, so which laryngeal here? So just type the number, 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. So this is actually laryngeal 1. It's pretty, yeah, good. And then A laryngeal 1, this is anyway cannot directly build present， 就你也不能用它直接构成动词，对吧？所以你还是要加个东西。所以 again, just like this one, you use this ye to build the verb, right? So just like this one, prere, like in Greek, it's called epreto. So we have in Greek eta, and it goes back to long e. So prere goes back to preye. So again, this just quite similar to this one, right? But the laryngeal has changed. Okay, and then the second one. So this air can go back. So this is first possibility, right? And then the second possibility is a double air, right? And how can it be a double air? Because in Latin, there's a sound change in Latin. In Latin, the year between vowels disappears. So year between vowels disappears. So then we have two vowels together. So then it goes back to ye, a, ye. Yeah. So this is actually the origin, the two different origins. Yeah. So you can see this is actually the a, ye. You have it here. And how could this a, ye be? This a, ye, if we recall Sanskrit, we already explained Sanskrit causative, right? So Sanskrit causative, not only Sanskrit causative, but Indo-European causative. It's like you have a root, right? You have a root, and then you use a O great, and then you plus a. Okay, and this is why you have like in Latin, mon-e-ā with an O here. But originally the root is men, to think, right? But you have a causative. You make someone think. You let someone think, so it is kind of warn someone, 对吧？这个语义的，这个语义的变化还是可以理解的，对不对 ？Okay, so this is basically the two origins or two sources of the second present. And then I just add something because Michael Weiss actually did not mention. I'm not sure if he mentioned that. I couldn't find it, but anyway, I can explain a little bit. So, what is the origin of "ā"? "Ā"? And this I explained. This comes from the feminine nouns, right? And how could this "ā" be? Yeah, laryngeal 1. And in which case? So make a. So comes the second question. So origin of or origin of air. So I can tell you, it comes from a case form, from a case form， 就来自一个格的形式。From a case form. So tell me which case. So there are two options. There are several options. So first one, accusative. Second one, instrumental. Third one, dative. Fourth one, ablative. So what is your answer? A. 可以明白问题吗？我那个说一遍，用中文说一遍，就是这个形式，single choice，sorry，single choice。就是刚才解释了这个第二类，它的根源是一个 a 加 laryngeal one。问题我重新说一遍，就是我们刚才解释了那个第二类动词是一个长音的 a， 对不对？长音的 a 的话，我们对比上面一个长音的 r， 一问就卡吗？现在还卡吗？可以听到吗？就是长音的 r 我们是第二个 laryngeal， 那长音的 a 的话，那么刚才大家说了，就是第一个 laryngeal， 对吧？那我们可以再仔细往下想一下，这个第一个 laryngeal 到底是怎么来的？这个第一个 laryngeal 的 origin，what is the origin of the first laryngeal? So there are four possibilities. First, accusative. Second, instrumental. Third, dative. Four, ablative. OK. 排除1和4啊 OK, that's yeah, that's pretty clever. Yeah, actually, it's instrumental. Yeah, okay, instrumental. Yeah. And why? It's not easy. It's not difficult to prove. So you just get the grammar by Goto and you find it. And actually, you don't need to use Goto sometimes, but okay. So this is ask them and check it. Check it. Instrumental, yeah. So instrumental is eich. So this is eich, yeah, right? Okay. So let's move back. So sometimes this is called de instrumental. Yeah, de instrumental or something like that. Yeah. Yes, aya. Yeah, the Sanskrit aya, instrumental of the. Wait a minute. It's feminine, I think, right? Wait a minute. In feminine, it's called aya is actually dative. Yeah. Oh, 谢谢啊，谢谢。Okay, so. Well, aya is actually dative, and aya is actually dative, not instrumental. Yeah. Okay, so let's move back. So actually, this is the origin of the second second present, and then let's move on to the third present. So third present is actually very Indo-European. Yeah, aya is for feminine, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's check. Let's check the third present, yeah, or third and fourth, because third and fourth actually go back to the same origin. Yeah. So it is first. There are several actually several origins, several sources. The first one is a simple somatic. So you find it here. The root is leg, and you put a semantic vowel here, lege, and then you have Lego, and also in Greek we have also Lego, and also the root vegr in Sanskrit is called vahati, right? And in Greek it's called vegeto. This is imperative, right? And in Latin it's called veho or vegere, right? So, right? So this is basically the simple semantic. Right? The simple semantic, you have the formula, right? This 就是它的形式是一般可以总结成这样。So this is actually the formula for simple semantic. Okay, and then now comes explanation why in PIE we have actually 20, more than 20, I think, 20 classes of present. But in Latin we only have 4 or 5, yeah. Because actually a lot of the Proto-Indo-European present are reclassified into the third present. So third present contains actually a lot of Proto-Indo-European present classes. For example, this is already what we have seen. This is a simple A grade, right? So like in Sanskrit, it's first class, right? First present, yeah. And then the reduplicated present, like the famous word seed. It's called seedo, seedati, right? And originally this is reduplication, right? But the symbol or the marker of this class is the reduplication just becomes a, how to say that? It becomes a the reduplication together with the root already becomes a single part, becomes a whole part. 就是这个重叠音节，它已经没有意识到它是重叠了，就已经把它当成一个词干的情况。就其实就跟希腊语很像 ，just like Greek. I think the Greek people will not equate hizo with like a gignosko or Gignosko is very famous. But there's also another very famous Pimpolemi and so on. So I think for the Greeks, it is very difficult to imagine that hizo goes back to a reduplication, right? Just like Sanskrit. I think we can actually check the Sanskrit grammar to which class we find, in which class we find seedati. Sat, okay, it's good. He tells us that sat. Check it. Sat, it's first class or sixth class. So actually nothing to do with reduplication. First class is semantic, right? And the sixth class is the R present. So already you can see the development is similar in Sanskrit and also in Latin. Because in Sanskrit, I can put it, wait a minute. I can put it here. Yeah. So in Sanskrit, seedati is sixth class, right? And sixth class is R present, right? R present, yes. Yeah. And in Latin, is called seedo. Yeah. Sorry. sido, and it is third class. Third class, and third class is actually air present. So actually, for Sanskrit and also for Latin, they all consider this semantic vowel as a symbol. 就是他们已经看不出前面是一个重叠了，然后他们看到的就只是中间有一个主题元音，有一个词干元音，对吧？然后他们就把这个词干元音当做一个标志，认为它是第三类现在是。Yes, so this is actually, and this process we can call as lexicalization. I have to put the lexicalization. Or in English, it's called lexicalization, right? Lexicalization. So the original grammatical structure is bleached or is kind of becomes vanished, and they just take the whole as a new stem, and then this is called lexicalization. 就是它原本的这个语法属性啊，语法结构就已经被忽略了，或者不是叫忽略，就是变得不透明也好，或者是看不出来也好，就是无法辨认出来。然后呢，它作为一个新的词干，这种现象呢，我们把它称为词汇化的意思。词汇化。Okay, so this is from the reduplicated present, and then another very important category is nasal present. So this is the second one. This is from the reduplicated, right? Yes. Yeah. And the third one is from the nasal present. And you all know that nasal present is a very ancient category, right? Class. And you find it in all the Indo-European languages, and especially in Hittite. And it has a special meaning. In Hittite, it has causative meaning. 就在赫梯语里面，它是使役的动词，对吧 ？Okay. And then in Latin, again, it make it into it becomes the third class. Yeah. Let's check it. So the root is called yughe. So let's check the root. So this is actually the root called yughe. And how do you build nasal suffix, a nasal present from yughe? For nasal suffix or for nasal present, you use weak stem, and then you insert the nasal suffix, nasal infix into the weak stem, right? So actually you have this one, right? So this is actually two stems, right? But pay attention. Sorry. And pay attention. Nasal present is actually asymmetric. In origin, this is asymmetric. But third present. Wait a minute. But third present, it's in principle semantic. And how do we have this? How can we get a semantic present from an asymmetric? So the reason lies here. So this is for the third person singular, right? So this is third person singular, right? And then this is for the plural. And for the plural, third person plural. Oh, sorry. You put an ending, right? So this is actually the ending. this is third person plural, and to check it. And this goes back, this, and check it. If I analyze it like this one, it looks like this is a stem, and this is an ending, right? Nt. And this is how we can have a semantic from an asematic. So it goes back to the third person plural with nt. Yeah. Okay. And then from this jugenti, there's a new stem, jug. And this jug is generalized in Latin. So what happened here? Originally, we have an upload, but no upload in Latin. 哦，不好意思，就是这发生什么变化呢？就是这个经常发生的，就是原始印欧语它是存在变音的，就是会有不同的词干的变化，但在后续的语言当中，它发生了简化，所以就去掉这个 upload， 就是语言都是会向着一种更简单的一种形式发展的。就这个在梵语当中也是很多的，然后在希腊语啊，还有拉丁语当中也是很多的。它原来是有一个不同的词干。So originally we have two different stems, unique and jung, right? This is in Proto-Indo-European, but in Latin, there's a secondary development, 有后续的发展，就它把这个 so upload is eliminated, so we only have this single stem. So therefore, in Latin, we only have this jung. We only have this yugo, yeah, jung, yeah. But check it in Sanskrit. In Vedic Sanskrit, we still have these different stems, like in strong stem, yunakti, but in weak stem, it's called yunjanti, yeah. So a different stem. Vedic, kind of more archaic, older. Yeah. Okay, so this is false origin from the nasal present, right? And then there's a very productive case, the SQ present. And in SQ present, again, just similar. So let's take this example. So it's just like Sanskrit gachati. So Sanskrit gachati, if you check the Sanskrit dictionary, which class is gachati? You can check it. First one, yeah, right. So this is first class. It's very interesting, right? Just like, so actually the development is quite similar. Just like this one, I can show, we have already just exactly like this one. Yeah. Okay, so let's check it together. So original root is gum, but you get, so gachati actually comes from gum plus, yeah, right? So this actually goes back to scale. So this is Sanskrit, right? And what is Latin? Latin, there's another example called Pritch. Probably we can also check Pritchati. I'm not sure which, okay, it's okay. We can just use Cacciati. Cacciati is more familiar. So like in Latin, we have a root called posco, right? And posco means demand. And this posco goes back actually to and this k is a palatal k, yeah. Yeah, it's palatal k, yeah. Yes, it's palatal k, right. Okay, and then there's a sound change in Latin. This or, there's a sound change in Latin, like pie-ā-r becomes in Latin or. Yeah. So we check it. It becomes actually por and kuske, right? Kuske, right? And this por kuske kind of, you see there are 4 consonants. It's impossible. So it's kind of a simplification. 就发生简化，然后再发生统化。So like kind of assimilation and then simplification. So and then we have a postcode here. Okay, so this is the case. And then again, they take this air as a symbol. They take the air as a symbol or marker of the present. So they will not consider this sk as a suffix. So they consider this ho, gumsk, as a whole, right? 就是他把这个前面的这个东西当成一个整体了，就不会认为它是一个词，词缀啊什么之类的。So the case is just like in quite similar in Tocharian. So similar. So is in Tocharian. So in Tocharian, there are a lot of sk present, but sk present we can probably check it. So let's check Tocharian. So actually in Tocharian, check it. There's a musk, and musk is present 3. And we know that sk present exists also in Tocharian, but this one is not sk present, because sk present is actually present 9. Yeah, present 9, but it is present 3. And there's another word. There's actually so many sk present. There's also pask, right? So pask is present 2, but with sk, it's pretty clear that it goes back to the Proto-Indo-European sk present. But this sk already taken as how to say that, as a root or as a stem, right? So this is again lexicalization or lexicalization. So it's 词汇化. Okay. Okay, so this is actually another category from the sk present. And then there's also your present, denominative. But there's a specific class called e stem, because as you can see, the 4th class, we go back, the 4th class, we check it. Actually, 4th class, we have a long E here. So this is aud-ī-re. So it goes back actually to denominative, but denominative to the E stem. So actually we have ye here. So this is ye, and this ye will become a long yi. So this is actually the origin of the 4th and also the 3rd class. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is basically the origin of the present, and now probably we can move on to the subjunctive, or probably we can have a break, and then we can talk about subjunctive. And we will also read some texts. Right? 你们有什么问题吗？那我把这个我需要暂停吗？我需要把录屏暂停吗？ So I stop the recording. Okay, so I already continue recording, and then probably we can just talk a little bit about subjunctive today. Not all of them, because we already spent a lot of time explaining present. And now we can just explain a little bit about subjunctive. And actually for subjunctive, for the 4 different classes, I can copy the 4 different classes again. So this is present. So to be sure, this is present, and I make it here, and you can see this is so. And I think in his book, he also mentioned, no, this book, well, this is also a reason. 我就可能要用中文讲一下，因为我怕那个 Michael Weiss 会听到，或者有人会转给他听。这就是其实我为什么那个不会只用 Michael Weiss 的原因。因为呢，其实 Michael Weiss 的书啊，就是它的内容其实是非常丰富的，但是呢，就是还是有一种美国教材的一种问题，就是说他写的太具体了，就是所以呢，那个学生一上来的时候，你如果没有一个旁边的人帮你指出来哪些最重要，哪些最核心，哪些是框架，哪些是 structure， 就你很难继续 follow 下去。那德国学者写的书呢，就非常清楚，就是他就明明白白的用表格画给你看，然后让你首先有个框架性。那比如说，我们就看这个，这个是Gerhard Meiser 写的书，就是封面可以给大家看一看。那个我写了一篇那个拉丁语的那个文章，就是类似那个日耳曼语的那个，我也有一篇拉丁语写的，然后已经发给编辑了，几天前发给他，然后可能这个周末可能会出来，然后到时候大家也可以参考一下。我都介绍了一下那个基本的最重要的参考书啊之类的。So this is a book by Michael Weiss, and it is very. So you can see it's about 200 pages, and great. So actually, they're basically the same, second and the third. The third one is just a reprint of the second one. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to the conjunctive. So you can see for the first part, so I just highlight the difference of the vowel, and then you can see. So for the first present, the form is called amen. So this is so present versus subjunctive. And this is air, right? Okay. And this air is actually long air. But you can see this is a short air, but this is due to a special sound change. 就这个 M 前面的长音会被缩短，这是一个拉丁语自己的音变。然后在 S 前面的话，保留，然后在 G 前面也会缩短，就是在 M 和 G 前面长音 A 会缩短。There's a special sound change. The long A is shortened before the final M and final T. Okay. So this is A, but originally this is so probably I should write the second person singular. Okay, and then the second class is called mon-e-ā-s. Yeah, right. So you can see the. 我今天就把最重要的信息讲出来，然后下一次的话再会跟大家解释它详细的来源。我今天就主要解释。And then this is the third class, and third class there are two kinds, right? The first kind is this one, aud-ī-re, but he used the example of legere, and you can see it's called legas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, this is legas, right? Yeah. Okay, and then the third B, the second one, with the E here, faci-ā-m, faci-ā-s, right? So faci-ā-s. Okay. And then the fourth category is many-ā-s. Yeah. Many-ā-s. Again, this is the long-e, right? Okay. Okay, and this one is special class, and you find special forms always for essay. be 就是 be 动词一般是最不规则的，对吧？那所谓最不规则，其实它是最规则的，对，就是那我们稍后以后会解释，但是大家现在就可以记住一下就行了，就写下来就行了。所以关键的还是这个一在这里。好。所以的话 so actually you can see this is subjunctive, you can see here. So actually we can, it looks actually quite regular, right? So actually in Latin, we only have 2 or 3 subjunctives. First subjunctive is called a subjunctive. This is the first kind. This is first kind. And the second kind, we have all here. The second kind, so the first kind is called a subjunctive. And the second one is called R subjunctive. And R subjunctive, we find it all here. This is all R subjunctive from aud-ī-re, leg-ā, faci-ā-s, veni-ā-s. And this one is called E subjunctive. Okay, so actually in Latin, we only have 3 kinds of subjunctives. First one, a. Second one, a. But this one is a little bit special because this is actually a added to the original a vowel. And original a vowel, you can see this is a causative or something like that. 就是这事实上也是 r 虚拟式，但是呢，这个 r 呢，并不是直接取代这个元音的，是直接加在它后面的。所以大家可以看到 r 加在后面 ，r 加在一的后面 ，r 加在一的后面。So this is actually they're all called r subjunctive, added to the stem. And sometimes there's a vowel, but it's okay. You just put the r after this. And the third one is called e subjunctive. 然后这个 e subjunctive is archaic because it goes back to the optative. Optative, if you remember, is called E laryngeal. Which laryngeal? Here comes another question. Which laryngeal for optative? 还记得吗？那个，祈愿式。哦，屏幕卡了吗？你们都卡了吗？正常吗？你们还记得那个 optative 是什么吗？脑子卡了，还给我，没事。1, yeah, this is a laryngeal 1. Because in Greek we have why it is laryngeal 1, because let's move back to the Greek. So check it. This is optative. In Greek, it's called aud-ī-re. Yeah. So in Greek, it's called aud-ī-re. So therefore, it is actually long-e. And long-e in Greek is ae. So you need to remember the form of Greek, the Greek form. an, as, aa. So this is actually first laryngeal. Yeah, keep it in mind. Yeah. Okay. And then this is goes back to optative. And then this R subjunctive, Michael Weiss also mentioned this R subjunctive. This R subjunctive is also found in Celtic, in Old Irish, and it is one of the oft-cited Italo-Celtic isogloss. 就是呢，在凯尔特语里面也是存在这个 r subjunctive 的，然后学者一般把这个作为重构 Italo-Celtic 的一种标志，就是说大家一直认为那个意大利语和那个不是意大利语啊，是意大利语系 ，like Latin and Sabellic， 就意大利语系和那凯尔特语系关系更密切。对，然后呢，其中有一个证据就是说，他们都有这种 r 虚拟式。Okay, so this is actually one of the oft-cited Italo-Celtic evidence. OK， 好吧，但是呢 ，the origin of the R subjunctive is not entirely clear。但是呢，Michael Weiss 也没有给出具体的那个解释。那具体的解释的话，我们其实可以看那个 Miser， 但是今天我们就不讲那个，我们下一次的时候可以详细讲一下，就是这个 R subjunctive 到底是怎么可能来的？因为有一种可能呢，就是说它可能是来自一种来自一个喉音结尾的一个词根，然后从这个词根蔓延到其他的词等等之类的，就是有一些解释。对，我们可以下一次的时候看。Okay, so today the grammar part is finished, and let's move on to the reading. Probably we can first read Horace, right? Because the inscription is a little bit probably boring for some of you. So let's check Horace. Okay, it comes from, so the second one, the reading, it comes from Carmina. Carmina means songs, right? Odes, right? And chapter 3, and fourth song or fourth verse. Yeah, okay. Poem, yeah. Okay, my pronunciation is not very good, but I try to read it. So it's called, so this is a translation, and you can check the translation for the understanding. So descende Cairo e dicage tibia, regina longu cariope meros, seu voce nunc mavis acuta, seu filibus quissaraque foibi. So we can just first read the first four lines. So actually, this is a Loeb edition, but for the reading, actually, we need to use the critical edition. So the critical edition I have already sent to you. So I use a critical edition by this one, and it is published in De Goethe. It is a famous collection called Teubner. It is, I think, the oldest series for publishing classical text, Greek and Latin. Yeah, so it's Scriptorum Graecorum et Romanorum. So Greek and Roman authors. Yeah, Teubner. Yeah. Okay. And then, so let's move back to yeah. So this is a text here. So we can compare if they are different. Yeah, it's the same. So we can actually use this one. Yeah. But this text edition is very good because there's a conspectus methodorum. So it's a kind of introduction of the, how to say that, conspectorum or conspectus. So it's display or Zusammenfassung. So it's fine. Yeah, it's an introduction to the meters by Horace. So for our poem, so you can see here, this is a name. It's called Asclepiadium primum. It looks like this, and it is used for this poems. And then there's another Asclepiadion. It's used for these poems, and so on and so on. So for our, so there's also a meter called Sapphikum. It's from Sappho, right? And it is used for these different poems, yeah. And our poems is called archaion. And archaion is also from the Greek name, Archaios. Yeah. It's also a famous author. Okay, so this is actually the meter, and you can actually check it yourself. We don't need actually to check it. Yeah, so you can check it yourself. So this is this 4 lines. We have already read the 4 lines. So the structure, the metrical structure of the first 4 lines look like this. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So this is yeah. Okay. So let's analyze the text. Descende means descent. So you all know the English descent. So from Latin looks so similar. So this is imperative, descende, and Cairo means from heaven. Yeah, heaven. Yeah, Cairo is heaven. And from heaven, descend from heaven. And then at end, dic. Does anyone know the origin of? That's something probably some of you might already know. So, does anyone know the the origin of this sign? This means end, right? And it is actually the Latin word et, but you write it in a kind of write it quickly, and then it will look like this one. So this sign comes from Latin word et. Okay, and then dic age. Yes, you write it. If you write et quickly, it will look like this one. Trust me. Yeah. Okay. And then dic age, and dic means to speak. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And dic means to speak and to say, and age means to come. But originally, it does not mean come, but means to drive. But drive in the sense to, yeah. So this is originally means drive. Yeah, you can find it. Okay. It's actually connected with cognate with the Greek word argo. Yeah, to actually to drive, to carry, to lead, and then come on like this one. Yeah. Come and to sing or to say. Yeah, dig. Yeah. And then tibia, and tibia is actually the pipe. It's a musical instrument. Yeah. You can see this is pipe, flute pipe, right? Flute pipe. And it's actually, I think it's ablative with, yeah. And then Regina, Regina means queen, yeah, you can see queen. And then her name is called Calliope. It's just a name. I think it's from Greek. You can also check it. Calliope. Yeah, this you can see it's a Greek name called Calliope. And can anyone tell me this Calliope? How could this possibly be? Calli, I think you all know. Calli comes from the word for beautiful, right? So Calli means beautiful, right? Beautiful, yeah. And ope, a little bit, probably a little bit difficult, but you can probably can have a guess, yeah. How could this ope be? And ope means Stimme. It's actually connected with vox. Yeah. Ope. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then longu medos. And longu is long. You all know that, lengthy. Yeah. And medos, again, is a Greek loanword. In Greek, it's neuter. Yes, opera. No, I think opera. Opera. There's a word called opus. Yeah. So opus. And opus. Yeah. Opus means work. And I think there's also another opus. Wait a minute. Yeah, opus means work. Yeah. Wait a minute. Opera. Yeah. Arbeit. Wait a minute. Yes, this comes from the word for work, I think. Yeah. Okay. Opera. Yeah, ops is the I. Ops is I. We can check it. Wait a minute. Let's check the Greek etymological dictionary. Ops. So you see, ops means eyes. Yeah. There's another word, ops means eye. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Ops. Okay. Yeah, we can continue. Yeah. Okay. So the word medos again is a Greek loanword. You can see, and in Greek it's neuter. So that's why in Latin we need a neuter adjective called longu. Longu, it's neuter. Yeah. Longu medos. So you can see the position of the words is a little bit different from prose, right? 就这个赫拉斯的诗，它的那个词的顺序，其实是稍微有点复杂一点的，就是它并不是很正常的散文的那种语序。比如他就把它交叉开来了，就是Regina Calliope 就相当于拆开来了，原来是 Queen Calliope，然后呢，他把它两个词拆开来，然后呢，在中间插了一个长的歌 ，a lengthy song。A lengthy song again, it's also split. A longu here and medos here. Yeah. OK. 我们可以再继续看。Seu voce nunc mabis acuta. OK. So seu is called if, and the verb here is called 对啊，这个没办法译的，就是诗歌真的很难译的。就是我其实一直觉得那个想把荷马史诗用六音部 ，so there's also a English translation of Iliad in English, so-called English hexameter. I think it's a little bit too much. I won't do that. Yeah. 就是有些东西你是不能模仿的，就是你模仿了之后，可能完全也达不到那种效果，对吧？就是你老老实实的学希腊语吧。就是如果你真的想 if you really want to appreciate the Greek hexameter, the Greek epic, just learn the original language. Yeah. Okay. This is the best way. Yeah. Okay. And if you want to learn the original language better, you need to have some idea, especially for Homer, you need to know linguistics, Indo-European linguistics. Okay, so the verb here is actually mon-e-ā-s. And what is the meaning of mon-e-ā-s? Mon-e-ā-s actually means prefer. But mon-e-ā-s is actually a compound. And it comes from, we can check the etymological dictionary by Michel Devon. Yeah, it's actually, if you want to check mon-e-ā-s, you need to first go to volo, and volo is the basic root. And it is also, of course, connected with well-attested word for wheel, right? It's called wheel, and also in Sanskrit it means choose. Yeah, you want something, and then you choose something. So you choose what you want, right? So this word means wheel, volo, vede, and mon-e-ā-s. So let's analyze it. So I put this. So we have a Latin word here, Latin word called mon-e-ā-s, right? So Latin mon-e-ā-s. And to pay attention, this V is actually long, mon-e-ā-s, yeah. And it comes from the word ma. It's called mado, right? The first person singular is called mado, and mado actually comes from ma-volo, yeah, ma-volo. Mado comes from ma-volo, yeah, and ma-volo again is actually a compound called max or magis plus vero, yeah, and this magis means more or great. It's also connected with the Sanskrit word maha, more. Greek, yeah. I want more, I want, yeah, okay, magis, yeah. So you can see the sound change in Latin is so, how to say it, so progressive. 这就是我为什么说拉丁语其实你看上去很简单，但是其实没有那么简单，因为它发生了太多的音变了，就是你很难追溯源头，就是它中间真的发生太多音变了。还有呢 ，now let's another question. So why we have vis, but the original form is with a L? So vis, because you want, right? But I want is called volo. So again, here is a suppletion. So in this word, we also have a suppletion. Vis comes from another root called vich. Vich is another root called vich. But volo comes from the root vech. Yeah. So this is actually two different roots. So this is connected with where, and this comes from the root called way. Actually, two different roots. So again, this is the suppletion. Okay, and then the next one is called acuta, and acuta actually means clear, not acute. Acute we also have in English acute, right? So acuta means also sharp, of course, also sharp, scharf, gespitzt, like you see, sharpen, cut to a point, sharpened. But here, kind of in a positive sense, clear, yeah. Okay, and then, seu fidibus kissaraque foibi, yeah. So this is actually the last sentence is not Latin, it's actually Greek. So let's put it into the original form. So we check it. So cell is again if, right? And this Kisara. Kisara is also Greek. You find it here. Kisara, it's from Greek. Kisara, of course. So it's from Greek Kisara. Yeah. Okay. And then fidibus, you can also check it. Fidibus actually comes from the Greek word fides. The original form is called fides, but there's actually two fides in Greek, in Latin. The first fides is called face. The second one is called instrument string, kind of string instrument, 一种乐器，对吧？好 The second one is actually a Greek loanword, comes from sphide. Yeah. So again, this is a Greek loanword. Fides is actually Greek loanword sphide. And sphide is the lyra, lute. Yeah. And then phoebe is the alpha. Is the Apollo. Phoebos. Yeah. Phoebos Apollo. Yeah. So like with the strings and with the Kisara of Phoebos of Apollo. Yeah. 好吧，那就这样吧。就是句子其实也没有太多语言学的东西，但主要就是想和大家一起看一看那个赫拉斯的诗到底是什么样子的。第一个是那个语序比较特殊，对吧？还有就是会有很多外来的希腊语的词等等之类的。Okay, so this is everything for today. So thank you for your attention. Yeah. 有什么问题吗？你们可以，我以为卡住了啊。你们如果有什么问题的话，可以稍后也可以交流。对，反正不客气不客气。对，我们可能还有大概3次课吧。然后我们就可以开始读那个读文本了。读文本的话，反正就一句一句往后慢慢读就可以了。我再解释一下前面。Okay, so so enjoy the rest of the day and take and have a nice weekend. Have a nice week. Yeah. Okay. So see you next time. Okay. See you Saturday. Okay. Okay. Bye bye.